acceleration, engine screaming, speed demons coming. Gasoline guzzling, straight moving, track bruising. In the premium stock car, never losing. Pit crew wizards, quick as wizards, slick precision. Seconds matter, clock ticking, tight decisions. Drafting close, slingshot ghost, high speed ballet. Sipping victory, toast to champ, champagne spray. Fast lanes, checkered flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engine soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathe and destiny's near. Grid start, hearts pound seconds before eruption. Adrenaline and steel, the perfect conjunction. Laugh after laugh, sweat drips, thighs are fogging. Fame and glory wait for no one's dogging. Tunnel vision, apex hunting, blind to the herd. Opponents tailgating, pace firing absurd. Finally tuned monster, horsepower XL. Steering wheels grip like the gates to hell. Fast lanes, checkered flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engine soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathe and destiny's near.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to battle here this evening from the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is going to be another absolutely amazing race from the Premium Stock Car Racing League as each and every one of these drivers get ready to duke it out here this evening for what is going to be a lot of fun. The Premium Stock Car Racing League's, I believe, 5th race of the season, points race of the season, 6th race overall after our shootout from Daytona International Speedway earlier in the year. But man, this is going to be another good show. Obviously, these ARCA cars, they are pretty wild, they are pretty crazy, and they are a lot of fun. And these drivers are going to have to try to figure out how to make 4 turns here this evening as this racetrack, it's a difficult one. It's a big track, it's a long track. These straightaways are some of the longest in NASCAR, that is for certain. And obviously get down into these corners, they're kind of 4 separate corners. It's not like a traditional racetrack. It's not a traditional oval where you get that long, wide arcing corner. You kind of get 2 separate corners on each end of the racetrack, separated by a bit of a straightaway. So you kind of have to worry about what you're going to do and have to carry all that speed momentum, and that is the name of the game at Indianapolis. It's carrying that speed, carrying that momentum, not having to roll out of the throttle too much or losing pace, as if you roll out of the throttle, you start to lose some of that pace. All of a sudden, you're going to fall backwards in a quick hurry. As drivers out on the racetrack right now, it is time for them to get some qualifying on, as all of them looking to try to lay down good lap times, hoping to try to set themselves up here for what could be a great start to their evening. And if they can figure out way to start at the front of the field here, could potentially be make or break on their night to try to find their way into victory lane. Is out in front right now with the quick time here in qualifying. It is the 119, the JBR machine of Austin Farnham. Farnham is our race leader here for the qualifying this afternoon, but it's not going to stand for long, as we will see Landon Burbage and Dylan Carrier knock him out of that top spot. Carrier jumps to the point here as he puts that D JC Simtography ride up and into that pole position. Blackwell now into third as Austin Farnham falls back into position number 4. He's got his teammate Kyle Shepard right there behind him. Jordan Hand in the Optic Gaming 24 ride jumps up into 8th as Joshua Siegfried there in 9th. Cody Blackmore rounding out our top 10 as of right now. We still got a few more drivers left to qualify here this evening. That 95 right out there on the speedway, a new driver out there on the speedway as well that I don't think we've seen this 68 ride, or at least I don't believe we have, but Reed Leonard out there on the racetrack. Reed looks like a new JBR car out there on the speedway. There's that beautiful purple Red Bull machine of Grant Applegate. Applegate looking for another big run here this evening. Here comes that beautiful Toxic Crider number 5 ride as the beautiful Robert Up Productions machine of Josh Crider rolling down the back straightaway. He's looking to get some laps in here. Here comes Jordan Crider as well. Jordan out there on the speedways. That Premium Stock Car Racing League's Pony Express. Peacemaker Gaming number 33. See him rolling down through corner number 1 right now. He sits at about that 15th position. Gonna be looking for a little bit of extra speed here in lap number 2. Is some great racing about to come right at you. These drivers have 80 laps to duke it out the battle here this evening. 80 laps of racing action with stage breaks at lap number 20 in lap number 40 here this evening. So virtually a 20-lap run, another 20-lap run, and a 40-lap run to finish off this race. And I'm not sure what the fuel is going to look like in these race cars here at Indy, but there is the possibility of trying to flip stages. There's a possibility of, maybe just trying to earn some big stage points here this evening. A lot of these drivers are going to be playing some different strategy calls out there on the racetrack, as if you're close enough towards the front, you may earn a couple stage points, but if you don't really need those stage points, then you may take the advantage. Head down pit road there a couple laps before the stage comes to an end. Come down pit road, get fuel, get tires into your race car, and then as that pit cycle, and then we get the yellow flags for the stage breaks, potentially as everyone else goes down pit road, you can leapfrog them and get back to the point here today for the restart. So that could be a big game plan for a lot of these drivers. I do believe we're going to have about 24 drivers loaded up and ready to roll here this evening. So another great show, another great amount of cars ready to rock and roll here today from the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's 213 Simware coming in with that like on the stream. 213 Simware showing the love here this evening as Anna, what's good, Anna? Anna says, let's go Landon, cheering on that number 2 machine as Anna says, hello, Peacemaker, let's have a good night. Yes, Anna, let's have a absolutely amazing night of racing action here this evening. And as you guys just tune in, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that like button for us, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Hit that subscribe button, turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, and that way you never miss any of the racing action here this evening. As Dr. Relief coming in, showing the love, says, meep, meep, P1, baby, Mr. Carrier in the chat. And yes, Carrier with the quick time here in qualifying. I do believe no one else going to lay down a better lap time out there on the speedway as of right now. No one's rolling out there, so should be pretty good here this evening. As Brian Alessandro says, what's up, Peacemaker? What's up, Brian? How are you? Says, let's bring it home, Landon, cheering on Landon here today, as well as Mr. Burbage. He's got his, Brian and Anna in the chat here. I do believe that's his grandparents cheering him on here this evening, hoping to see that 2 ride up and into victory lane. Now, we normally see Matthew Wood in attendance helping and trying to get that number 2 ride up into victory lane. He's been trying a lot to try to get the win to the 2 machine of Landon Burbage, and it's going to come here one of these nights. I'm sure we'll see it here and see that 2 ride up and in victory lane again here on Peacemaker Gaming, as qualifying quickly coming to a close in our A-Main feature event just around the corner. The action just about to come at you here today for what's going to be a lot of fun. And as we get ready to rock and roll, as we get ready to get things rolling here again for another great show here on Peacemaker Gaming. We are going to get our opening command here. Let's see if we can get our opening command up here. Mr. Lonnie Kreider. Is Kreider giving us the opening command today? Let's see if we can get him up here into the stream. Now, the screen may go black here real quick, chat. Bear with us. Bear with us as we're going to get things moved around, try to get things opened up here. See if we can get this in here as, I do believe this is it right here. All right, here we go. Quick one, fast one. Oh my gosh, Lonnie Kreider, our opening command here this evening. We always love seeing Lonnie in these amazing commands here at the racetrack, and this is going to be absolutely awesome. He's got the guitar out, chat. He's got the guitar out. He's about to serenade us, okay? Ladies, hang on to your underwear. Do not throw them onto the stage. Everyone get out of the way of this stud muffin, though, as Lonnie going to get ready to play the guitar and give us our opening command.
Hey, welcome guys. It's going to be a good night of racing. Thought I'd do something a little bit different. I thought maybe I might sing you all a song tonight. I ain't going to sing no song. Start them engines and let's go racing, guys.
Alrighty, we love it. Let's go, Lonnie. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Lonnie Kreider coming and giving us the command here this evening. That was an absolutely beautiful command there at Lonnie Kreider. As yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go racing. Qualifying coming to a close, and that means we will get ready to rumble here today with our main feature event. As drivers get loaded up and onto the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And starting on the pole in the Dylan Jacob Carrier Simtography number 88 ride, the driver with real-life dirt experience, the 88 of Carrier, will start in the pole position here this evening. To its outside in the Princess Towing number 2 is the NJBDesigns.com machine. It is Landon Burbage. Burbage will start there in second in that number 2 ride. Starting back in position number 3 is the 5 machine of Josh Kreider. Kreider in the Toxic Kreider ride will start there in 4th. And then to his outside in that number 18 ride, it is Mr. NJBDesigns.com himself. It is Noah Blackwell. Blackwell will start there in position number 4. Starting back in position number 5 in the 119 ride, it is the JBR Tier 1 machine. That is Austin Farnham. Farnham will start there in that 5th position. To his outside, his teammate in the JBR number 115. It is Kyle Shepard. Starting in position number 7 in the beautiful Shark Ninja number 19, that is Melvin Brangruer. To his outside in the beautiful Bourbon Hills Barbecue, the Gaston iRacing Graphics number 72 is Jonathan Gaston himself. They're in position number 8. Starting back in position number 9 in the Simu Cube number 79 ride, it's Danny White. To his outside, rounding out our top 10 in the 24 ride, it's the Optic Gaming machine of Jordan Hand. Joshua Siegfried in the number 33, that is Jordan Kreider, going to round out our top 12 with Cody Blackmore in the 84. They're in 13th. To his outside will be the 76 of Farrell Robbins with Applegate. Scott Heinrich's Matthew Skrlak, Brian Underwood, Reed Leonard, Caden Gargiulo, Ben Gleason, Nathan Brookover, Corey Denson, and the 87 of Chris Getz, bringing up the rear of the field here this evening as 24 drivers getting ready to duke it out for the next 80 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing. And you see the 88 ride of Dylan Carrier leads us down on the inside through quarter 1 and through quarter number 2, but it looks like the outside lane looks like Landon gets a little bit tight. They'll drag race back down the back straightaway. Still door to door for the race lead here this early on in this race, man. This is still very, very early, and obviously drivers looking all ready to make some moves. Saw that 119 ride of Austin Farnham all over the back bumper here of Josh Kreider. And man, to still see our top two drivers out there on the racetrack running door to door this early on here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, man, this is an absolutely amazing sight to see. And now we'll see them go 3 wide. Here comes the 119 of Farnham. Is Farnham looking to make it 3 wide, looking to try to steal position number 3 away from the 5 rider Kreider in the 18 of Noah Blackwell. Is out in front though, leading lap at number 1, and now clearing the 88. It's Landon Burbage. Burbage at the front of the field has the early race lead here this evening as Carrier there in second. Noah Blackwell in position number 3. Kreider back there in 4th with that 119 run. Austin Farnham unfortunately could not get the run that he was hoping for down through 1 and 2, and he'll slide back into that 5th position. But now here he comes battling back down to the inside, moving that JBR right up and into position number 4 as it looks like he will complete the pass on that 5 ride of Josh Kreider. We'll have to wait and see if Kreider got a better run down and out of corner number 4. See if he can find that extra little bit of speed as here again comes Dylan Carrier. Carrier taking the race lead back away from Mr. Burbage. Is Burbage gonna slide backwards there? Just lost that speed, the momentum out of corner number 4. Unfortunately now slides back into that 3rd position, and he may continue to fall farther back out there on the racetrack as we do see the caution flag fly. So our first caution flag of the day coming out here on lap at number 3 as we'll take a look back and see what happens. It's the 95 ride of Matthew Skurlak. Gonna run into some issues here. See if there's any help here. If he gets a little nudge, he tries to shoot down to the inside, and unfortunately the 66 ride already there. They end up making some pretty solid contact for Ben Gleason. Really nothing he can do here. He's trying to hold his line, trying to work himself into corner number 1. And obviously he's not driving it down into the corner as early as the 95 ride was thinking of it. I believe he was trying to shoot down the racetrack to try to get under the 7 ride of Caden Gargiulo. And unfortunately, he kind of pulls the trigger with that one. The 66 coming in. Not expecting him to be losing speed, not expecting him to come down the racetrack. They make contact, and unfortunately for the 95 ride, this is a big hit up and into that corner 1 catch fence here this evening. Pretty solid damage there for him. We'll have to wait and see if he can get that repaired. And then right there, just past him, we do see, I do believe that is Reed Leonard. Also, getting a little sideways there, a little help with the 87, washes back up the racetrack here. He's trying to keep himself out of the fence. He may have gotten up there and gave it a little kiss, but luckily enough for that JBR Tier 1 setups machine, he's able to keep himself out of major damage and a major issue early on in this race, as that will give us our first yellow flag, and we will get ready for our first restart of the evening as the Slurpee 88 machine looking pretty good, man. Looking very racy early on, but this race in general just looks very, very racy. We've seen a lot of good door-to-door. We've seen a lot of drivers and obviously people making big moves going forwards, falling backwards, or just trying to keep themselves in the action here this evening as we take a look back at Kyle Shepard. Shepard has fallen all the way back into about the 18th position. He's down 12 spots on the racetrack. Jordan Kreider, he came down pit road and now back in 23rd. We still see Matthew Skurlak out there on pit lane, but does look like he'll get rolling and stay on the lead lap here this evening, as we do see a lot of drivers headed down pit road early on here, even though we've now technically ran 4 laps here this evening. We still got 76 laps left to go. The strategy calls already being played out here by a lot of these drivers, trying to make sure that they are a little bit more comfortable maybe on fuel to make it to the end of this stage. They head down pit road. Doesn't look like any tires are going on these cars. Everybody is getting topped up here, getting fuel into their race cars, getting ready to rock and roll, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a little bit as Landon Burbage, Austin Farnham, Josh Kreider, Melvin Brenger, Jordan Head all coming down pit road, as that is, I do believe, everyone except for our top 5 coming down pit side right there. So we did see Joshua Siegfried, we saw Brian Underwood and Nathan Brookover stay out on the racetrack there. They did not come down pit road, so I'm assuming they're going to be trying to save fuel here. If they can save enough fuel, if they can make themselves feel a little bit more comfortable here late in the race and during this yellow flag, saving gas that they don't have to make their way down pit side here during this early caution flag, that they're not willing to give up track position here this evening as they want to continue to keep on battling at the front of the field as Dylan Carrier continues to lead the way. Blackwell right there in second, Siegfried up and into position number 3 as Underwood and Brookover are top 5. Landon Burbage will restart back in position number 6. We'll see if he can find that extra gear and jump back into the battle, see if he can work his way back up towards the front of the pack. Here is Josh Kreider right behind him, Bren Brewer, Jordan Hand, and Danny White rounding out our top 10. Cody Blackmore there in 11th with Caden Gargiulo in position number 12. Jonathan Gaston, Farrell Robbins, and Grant Applegate, our top 15, getting ready to rumble here once again this evening for what is going to be an absolutely amazing restart. This is going to be fun, chat. This is going to be a fun night. There's going to be a lot of battling, a lot of door-to-door, and if we see multiple caution flags, could potentially make this a very wild race. When we get these drivers stacked up, when they get door to door, that's normally when we see issues, and obviously cautions breed cautions. So as we get going for this restart, it may take them a attempt or two to kind of get a clean restart and not see another caution flag out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as we get them stacked up door to door once again, ready to rumble, ready to battle here today. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like on the stream right now. Hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast for us. Make sure you jump into the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking, who you want to see up in victory lane, who you want to see, try to work together out there on the racetrack. You take a look a little deeper in the field, and teammates kind of together, but they've lost a lot of ground here. You look back at Kyle Shepard, Reed Leonard. You look at Scott Heinrich is the number, I do believe the 10 ride is also one of these drivers. I don't know if it's actually the number 10. It might be another JBR car there of Corey Denson. And you see the 119 Austin Farnham also back there deeper in the field. So 3 JBR machines back outside our top 15 right now. We'll have to wait and see if they can kind of get lined together, work together, see if they can navigate their way up towards the front of the field as we get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. It is the DJC Simtography Slurpee Carrier Motorsports ride of Dylan Carrier out in front, getting ready for this restart. As the pink and blue car on the outside lane is our race leader, and he will have control of this restart. So for Carrier, making the lane selection, going to the high side instead of the inside groove. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out for him as here we go, back to battle. Here at Indy as quickly the 88 back onto the loud pedal, hoping to try to open up a bit of a gap, and that's exactly what he gets down through corner number 1. So a nice gap and out door to door back there behind him, and that's exactly what he wants to see. He wants to see these drivers continue to battle side by side out there on the racetrack and continue to beat and bang as well, and potentially hurt their cars or hurt their chances here this evening as they are going to fall farther from his back bumper, and that's allowing Dylan Carrier to try to open up a massive lead. Now with this big lead, he wants to continue to just pull away from them, even though he's got a bit of a buffer, even though he's got a little bit of a gap here. If he can keep on keeping on here and put his foot down and carry all the speed and momentum, potentially could open up a sizable gap and a big advantage where he could try to run away and win stage number 1 here with some fairly easy runs out there on the racetrack, as all he had to do was battle hard early on to take that race lead back away from the 2 of Landon Burbage, and then once he got it back, obviously the caution flag, and now just out in front, looking pretty here in this one, man. But man, it is a dogfight back here behind him, still door to door, as Noah Blackwell trying to steal position number 2 away from Brian Underwood. Underwood battling here still to his outside as they are door to door, and you still see them moving around and making contact back there behind him. There's a little bit of contact right there between, I believe that was Jordan Hand, the 97, the 19. All these drivers kind of getting a little too tight and a little too close for comfort here late in this, well, not late in this race, but midway through this stage, because, man, this has been absolutely wild to see these drivers just moving around, man. This is probably the raciest race we've seen here at Indy in quite a while. Normally, it takes them, you know, a half a lap or so to kind of get more single file. And as they do get more single file, that's when things kind of get a little bit more broken up. And then we start to see drivers really moving around and finding different lanes and then just running single file. Freight train out there on the racetrack, but we still see them door to door, making big moves, making big plays, trying to find their way up to the front of the field here, and this has been very, very exciting since the drop of the green flag right down here to this point, man. It has been non-stop action, but out in front, it's all game on for Dylan Carrier, as Carrier out in front continues to lead this race, and he has now opened up a pretty sizable advantage between himself and Brian Underwood. Underwood rolls bare in position number 2. He's got Blackwell, Burbage, now the 79 right at Danny White. He's poking his nose into that battle as he goes 3 wide underneath of Joshua Siegfried and Nathan Brookover. Big move right there for the 79. Now he's looking to make another one under Landon Burbage. Burbage, he was trying to work his way underneath that number 2. Burbage was trying to work his way underneath of Noah Blackwell right there. Blackwell, though, with a great run, but here comes Kreider right into the mix. Here comes that 24 ride of Jordan Hand and Applegate. They're right here into this battle. Unfortunately for Nathan Brookover, he is sliding backwards. That CVS machine, unfortunately, going the wrong way out there on the speedway. But for Dylan Carrier, he's got a pretty good gap out there on the racetrack, but it is shrinking ever so slightly, lap after lap after lap. We do see Underwood starting to reel him in ever so slightly out there on the racetrack. Last time around, he was about 8/10 quicker than our race leader, so finding a ton of speed out of that 6 machine here, and he is closing the gap here on Dylan Carrier very, very quickly here this evening. It is getting right down to the nitty-gritty here for that 88 ride. He's going to have to start playing some major defense to try to hold these guys off, especially as this stage starts to wind down. We're now into the second half of stage number 1, where he knows that there's an extra playoff point to his name if he can hold these guys off. He had that big lead. He had that big advantage. He wants to be able to take, you know, control of it and keep it in his back pocket, use all the points that he can gain after race after race after race, especially after winning our first 3 races of this season. This 88 ride was a man on a mission, and here again tonight, looking very, very strong and hoping to try to find victory lane again here early on the year, as Dylan Carrier, Brian Underwood, Noah Blackwell, 1, 2, and 3 on the speedways. The field continues to hunt back down that 88 run. You're going to wonder if potentially Dylan Carrier burned up his tires a little too much right there, trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Was it them kind of just battling door to door that allowed him to build that big lead, or was it him just burning up his tires and trying to build that lead himself out there on the racetrack? It looks like, nonetheless, he has lost that gap. He was almost over 2 seconds between himself and Brian Underwood, as Underwood cleared that 18 ride, and now they are right on his back bumper, and this is not going to be looking good for him, as now here comes Underwood right down to the inside, and Underwood will slide up in front of him for the moment, takes that race lead away from the 88, but Dylan Carrier going to battle back into it here as he looks back down low. Looks like he gets a little bit tight right there. Both drivers kind of watch up the racetrack. They're going to lose quite a bit of speed and momentum down the back straightaway, but here comes Noah Blackwell trying to give a little bit of a push and shove here, trying to give the 88 the advantage, and that's exactly what he'll do. But here comes the 79. Danny White has been picking his way through the traffic. Now look out! Almost goes around as he makes a little contact there with that 6 ride of Brian Underwood. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep him pointing in the right direction as Danny White moves up into position number 3. Man, what a run, what a drive here for that 79 ride. We've seen Danny making some big moves, and here's another one. Drives it deep down low underneath of the 88 to Dylan Carrier. Carrier hoping to slide back around him, but it looks like Danny White has navigated his way to the front of the field, and he's hoping to keep that 79 ride right there, holding these drivers back at bay, hoping to try to put themselves into a winning strategy out there on the speedways. Noah Blackwell leads this race, but it's not for long, as here comes that 79. Danny White, I don't know if Danny White put tires on or not. We only ran about 2 laps of green flag racing before that first caution flag came out, and before we saw Danny White and a lot of these drivers make their way down pit side. So for Danny White, did he accidentally maybe use a set of tires early here this evening and now use them to his advantage, as here comes a caution flag? So yellow flag will fly here once again this evening here on lap number 14, as I do believe we're going to see potentially Ryan Leonard and a few other drivers potentially getting caught up in this one. I do believe the 95 rider Matthew Skurlak going to get tied up in this one again as well. We saw this 95 ride tied up in that first caution flag, and now here he is, drives it into the corner, just gets in there deep, unfortunately washes up into the 76 ride, up and into the fence, and look out, nowhere to go for Reed Leonard. Heavy damage there for that JBR number 68 ride. Heartbreaker there for him, just trying to work his way around it and through it, and unfortunately he finds a whole lot of it as he gets a great look at this contact here. He's a bit further back, but you see the 95 able to close the gap, catch up to that 67. A quick hurry, unfortunately gets in there, gets a piece of them. They get time together, shoots the 95 back up the racetrack, and all of a sudden, nowhere to go there for that Gasson's Eye Racing Graphics Tier 1 setup shop. Number 68 ride, heavy damage there for him. Heavy damage for Matthew Skurlak there, as well as that 67. Nowhere to go there for Scott Heinrich. Let's see if we can get another look at it. Heinrich just sends it into corner number 3. He just enters high, trying to shoot down the racetrack a little bit, but it looks like the 95 just sends it in there deeper. Doesn't really wash up. The 67 doesn't really move down. They just kind of run out of room there in the middle of the racetrack. 2 different lines out there on the speedway, and unfortunately for the 95 ride, he is at fault technically, as unfortunately he's the driver that's chasing down the 67, and this gets in there a little too far. He's got a brake pedal, could have rolled out of it, could have tried to drive farther down the racetrack to avoid contact, and unfortunately he ends up paying the ultimate price as he makes hard contact into the outside fence. Obviously we saw Leonard and the number 67 of Scott Heinrich is all getting some pretty good damage right there, but no one getting more damage than that car, man. That was a big hit. That was a big hit for Matthew Skurlak, and I do believe he has taken that car off of the racetrack, so it looks like he may be out of this race. We do see Ryan Leonard. He is down pit road. He is trying to get that car fixed up and repaired. Unfortunately, got a lot of damage here this evening to try to get that thing rolling again, and we do see Scott Heinrich is down pit road here. Did we just see that car get fixed up here? He was trying to crab walk it down into his pit stall. See if we can get a look at it here. He was definitely struggling and trying to get this thing in there. This car just kind of pointed the wrong direction. Let's play farther back here and watch this car down the down the racetrack. This is after the contact between him and the 95 ride. And, man, look at this car. It is not pointing in the right direction at all. This thing is an absolute wild animal out there on the racetrack. It is definitely towed out. The rear end kind of wants to go and do its own thing. Kind of got that Forrest Whitaker kind of look to it, as it's a little lopsided out there on the racetrack. And for the 67, he's going to take it down pit road. He's going to try to get this thing repaired. Has to pull it in, back it up. He's trying to do everything he can to get the crew to go to work on it, to get this thing repaired and back into one piece here this evening. And unfortunately, he's going to need a lot of work done to this car to get this thing rolling again, and I do believe he's got to try to back it in a couple times, trying to get the crew to fix it up and try to straighten it out here. As here he goes, he's backing it up, trying to get it into his pit stall, trying to get it in where the crew can work on it. He's a little too far outside of his box, so he's got to pull it forward more, and Looks like the rear end right there may have gotten fixed, may have gotten kind of readjusted, and a quick repair may have worked and got that car rolling once again. And it does look like that thing is now pointed in the right direction and not a little crooked out there on the speedway, as he'll get ready to rumble and try to keep on battling here this evening. Unfortunately for Matthew Skurlak, his night is done. I do believe he is taking that car down behind pit wall. For Reed Leonard, who's in behind this Tank Hauer podium stand, I don't know what they want to call that. He is still down pit road. Unfortunately, heavy damage on this race car. He'll be down pit lane for quite a while longer, trying to get this thing fixed back up and back out there onto the racetrack, or hopefully we see him at least back out onto the speedway. But as of right now, we will get him stacked up, we will get him racked up, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, I do believe, for about a 3-lap shootout here before we finish stage number 1 this evening. So for a lot of these drivers, it's go time right now. You want to earn those stage points. You want to earn potentially the extra playoff bonus point for winning the stage. You got to get up on top of the wheel. You got to make some moves right now and try to put yourself out in front, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Alrighty, lights are off the official iRacing safety vehicle. It will turn off the racetrack here, as Anna says, come on, Landon, cheering Landon on here this evening. Still cheering on that too, Ryan. Landon Burbage sits back in that 5th position. Does he have something left in the tank? Can he make some moves? Can he race his way up to the front here, maybe trying to pick up stage win number 1 on the evening? Do we see Carrier jump up and get that spot back and put the 88 ride back to the point? Is out in front. It's the 79 of Danny White, and Danny has looked very good here for most of this night, man. Came down pit road there on lap number 4, and then he drove up throughout the top 10 and parks this number 79 ride at the point when, now with only a few laps left to go here in this first stage, can he pick up the stage win? Could be a big break. Could be an absolutely amazing opportunity here for the 79 ride to earn an extra playoff point. Also earn some extra, bragging rights out there after winning the stage. Obviously showing that he's got a strong car. And if he can kind of keep this thing rolling, keep this car pointed in the right direction all evening long, and find himself some good track position late in this race, potentially the 79 ride could find his way up and into victory lane out there on the speedway. Is nice and easy down the front straightaway here at the Brickyard. You see these drivers still winding out here, everyone moving around, everyone trying to find runs down into corner number 1, and one driver looking for a big run. It's that 18 of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell looking down low, trying to get to that left rear quarter panel, hoping that he can get a little bit of a side draft off the 79, watch him up the racetrack potentially, knowing that he has that inside groove. The 79 can't come down low, does not get the run that he was hoping for down and out of corner number 2. Now they'll drag race down the back straightaways. Here comes Carrier. Carrier getting absolutely shoved down the backstretch by that 2 ride of Landon Burbage, and Burbage may have just shoved that 88 back towards the front of the field here, as he's coming with a big head of momentum. And here he is looking to the back bumper of his teammate, and the 18 ride is Noah Blackwell. Still looking to try to take this race lead away from Danny White. Is down and across the line. It looks like it will be Noah Blackwell out in front leading this race. So Blackwell now with the race lead here, but he's still door to door with that 79 of Danny White. White with a good run, but look at them slice and dice back there behind our race leaders. Some absolutely amazing racing here today, man. This is the most side-by-side, 2-wide, 3-wide racing that we've seen in a long time here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and these ARCA cars are really putting on a show for us out there on the racetrack, man. This has been a great race so far, and these guys are really putting on an absolutely wild show, as this is going to be our final lap of stage number 1. So stage points, bonus point for the playoffs on the line right here, as the 18 gets a great run out of corner number 4, and it looks like it's going to be a drag race back down to the line. They make a little contact. Look out, it's Danny White who picks up stage win number 1. Man, that was a little too close for comfort right there for Danny White and Noah Blackwell as they make contact right there. Blackwell trying to side draft off the 79, ends up running into him, making contact with them, and there they are down across the line. Man, that was a absolutely amazing run, amazing finish here this evening, and it was close. It is a close run here to the line. Look at how tight she was. That was too close to almost call, chat. Thank God we got slow-mo here in the series, so that way we can look back and see it as that was a tight finish. 1 and 2 out there on the speedway, but I do believe it was the 79 of Danny White who comes out on top here with the stage win, and then it continues on. I do believe the 88 rider, Dylan Carrier, coming home in position number 3 there in the stage. The 6th rider, Brian Underwood, in 4th. The 57 of Applegate rounding out our top 5 there for stage points here this evening. As, oh man, this is going to be fun. If we continue to see the racing, build up and run like we just saw right there, this is going to be an absolutely amazing race. This is going to be a dogfight lap after lap after lap, and it's going to create for some absolutely amazing action and a lot of fun here this evening from India's, man. The 79 rider, Danny White, what a run there for him. Let's see if we can get Danny up here into the broadcast booth here real quick for his post-race interview for his stage win here this evening. Big stage win right there for him. Let's see if we can find him in the Discord, see if we can get him up here into the booth. I do believe he is in there, so let's see if we can pull the 79 up and into the booth right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for this number 79 rider, Danny White. Hey Danny, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got you, buddy. How you doing?
Not too bad, Danny, man. What a run and what a drive there in stage number 1 for you, man. Take us back through this one. Obviously, we saw you down pit road there on lap number 4, and as you come back out on the racetrack, you knew you were good on fuel to make it to the end of the stage. I don't know if that was what made you look so fast out there for so long, as you're able to slice and dice, make a lot of big moves, and you work yourself up here and into the first stage win on the evening. Obviously, a close call there between you and the 18 rider. A great battle to end the stage, but man, that 79 machine hooked up here this evening.
Yeah, that first run, everything felt good. Everything felt locked in, so we'll just see if we can keep it together for this next stage and put another good run together.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, stage points obviously important, and with yourself winning this stage, you earn that extra playoff point here for the season as well. Do you go after stage win number 2, or do you try to play it a little bit more conservative if things are getting a little too hectic up there, knowing that you already got those stage points in your back pocket, that you can, just try to have a good finish here and really maximize your points on the day?
Yeah, I think you got to go for it. The way stage points are, they're so critical to the end of the season. So I'm just going to go hard and let it fall wherever it falls.
Absolutely. Well, we can't wait to see how it plays out for you, man. But a heck of a first stage of the day. And you got this 79 ride not only looking good, but racing good here this evening. And hopefully we'll see it back up here in the broadcast booth maybe a couple more times. Maybe winning that second stage and maybe winning this race as well here this evening.
Hey, man, we're due. It's been a while, so hope we do see you again.
Absolutely, brother. Hopefully we do. Danny, good luck out there and have fun nonetheless.
Appreciate it, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our Stage 1 winner. The Gaston iRacing Graphics 79 ride of Danny White, as Danny picks up stage win number 1. Man, what a drive here this evening for Danny White. Now, with this restart, he will restart back in the 6th position. His teammate Jonathan Gaston in that beautiful Bourbon Hills barbecue ride will start from the top spot. He'll have Joshua Siegfried there to his outside. Noah Blackwell, Dylan Carrier there in 3rd and 4th. The 6th machine of Brian Underwood back in 5th. Danny White will restart in that 6th position. We'll have to wait and see if he can navigate his way back to the front of the field, as Grant Applegate, Austin Farnham, Landon Burbage, and Josh Kreider round out our top 10 as we get ready to go back to battle, as we get ready to duke it out here again this evening for what's going to be another great stages. Papa Mike, we didn't see that till right now. Papa Mike coming in with the like on the stream as well. Coming in showing the big love with that heart reaction. We appreciate that, Papa Mike, showing the love here this evening as... Woo! Doggy! Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an exciting race, and we're going to get ready for stage number 2, which is going to be quite a bit shorter. Obviously, we have to run our caution flag laps during this second stage, so it ends up actually being a little bit shorter than stage number 1, as we should see the green flag come back out after completing 24 laps, meaning that we will have 16 laps for stage number 2 here this evening. 16 laps. Everyone should be good on fuel. I believe everyone should be good on fuel. There may be a couple of drivers that might be a little tighter than others. It may come down to who can save maybe a lap or two to really try to help themselves out there and not run out of fuel at the end of the stage. So that could play a factor in it as well. Or we could see another caution flag or two during this stage that could really mix things up. Again, out there on the speedways, we'll get them ready to rock and roll, ready to rumble here once again as, man, 24 laps into this race, and it seems like it's been a long one already, Jen. I don't know about you guys, but we're already 45 minutes into the broadcast. We're only 25% of the way through this race. My gosh, these yellow flags are just eating up the time here. Takes about, I'm looking at two minutes per lap under caution flag. That is absolutely wild, chat. That is absolutely wild. We need to see some good green flag laps right here so we don't have to see all these yellow flags. We want to see good, hard, clean racing as here we go back to green flag racing right now as the 72 of Jonathan Gaston will lead us here back to the green flag for stage number 2 here this evening. A big move right there as Blackwell able to get out in front of the 0-3 as we see a couple drivers up into the fence. There goes another car around, and the caution flag will fly. Looks like Austin Farnham gonna get tied up here in this one. Big hit there for Farnham, man. I'm sure he is not gonna be happy about this one. That is a big hit, a lot of contact, and unfortunately, he's gonna have to try to get this car rolling, try to get this thing fixed up, and hopefully doesn't look like too much damage. A little front left damage there for that JBR machine. Let's see if we can play this one back and take a look at it. As you do get the webcam there of Austin Farnham as he's trying to just manage to get this car back down pit road. So we're going to see, I do believe it's Dylan Carrier. Dylan Carrier right here looks like he is actually going to get up into the outside fence here out of corner number 1. So everyone's just trying to find as much speed and as much pace as they can coming down and out of corner number 1. Now, if you watch that pink, blue, and black 88 right here of Dylan Carrier, I believe we're going to see Carrier and potentially even the 79 following him into it as they wash up the racetrack on corner exit. And there you go. You see the 88 and then the 79 following him in there. They both bounce it off the outside fence, and all of a sudden for the 119, he's going to follow in the 79 right in there. Thought maybe there was a little bit more room on the racetrack, or not expected the 79 to check up. Nonetheless, he runs in the back end of him. Carter shoots down the racetrack. Landon Burbage gets a little bit of contact into it. Not too much or anything major there for that 2 Ryan, but he does slide down onto the apron. But for the 119 Austin Farnham, couple good hits right there, couple good licks, and definitely quite a bit of damage onto that JBR machine. The crew is going to have to go to work to try to get that thing fixed up and rolling back out there onto the racetrack here, and hopefully they can get that thing repaired. As here we go, we see a couple drivers faking out pit stops here. Couple drivers faking out those pit stops. Here we go. We see another one faking it out, but we do see Landon Burbage. Looks like Burbage is going to give up a bit of that track position to come down pit side. Probably not 100% sure if he got any major damage off that contact with that 119 ride. He'll get this car kind of fixed up, figured out, and trying to make sure that if there is any damage, that the crew has ample amount of time to get it repaired and get it rolling here for the next restart out there on the speedways early on. I do believe 4 caution flags now, 4 or 5 with the stage break, as these caution flags, man, they're eating up a lot of time out there on the racetrack. And for our race leader, Jonathan Gaston, and the rest of these guys, it's got to be feeling pretty good. But for Gaston, he's kind of in a very interesting position. He came down pit road on lap number 16. It leapfrogs him back out in front. puts him back to the front of the field, but I do believe he is going to be quite a bit shy on fuel here to the end of this stage. So at some point in time, whether it's during a yellow flag or potentially green flag, we should see the 72 ride have to make a pit stop here before the end of stage number 2. But if we keep seeing these yellow flags, maybe he won't have to come down pit road, as I'm sure he's clutching this race car, saving a lot of fuel out there on the speedway, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere, as we're going to be right back in just a couple more moments.
Strapped in tight, ready, V8, symphony humming, tires screeching, engine screaming, speed demons coming. Gasoline guzzling, straight moving, track bruising, in the premium stock car, never losing. Pit crew wizards, quick as wizards, slick precision. Seconds matter, clock ticking, tight decisions. Drafting close, slingshot ghost, high speed ballet, sipping victory. Toast to champ, champagne spray. Fast lane, checker flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engines soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathing, destiny's near. Grid start, hearts pound, seconds before eruption. Adrenaline and steel, the perfect conjunction. Lap after lap, sweat drips, visor fogging. Fame and glory wait for no one's dogging. Tunnel vision, apex hunting, blind to the herd. Opponent's tailgating, pace firing absurd. Finally tuned monster, horsepower excel. Steering wheels grip like the gates to hell. Fast lanes, checkered flags, racing through the turns. Pedal to the metal, feel the rubber burn. Crowd roars, engines soar, high stakes, high gear. Champions breathing, destiny's near.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Here is stage 2 about to commence. Once again, we got about, I don't know, 700-800 meters there after the first green flag coming back out here to start stage number 2. Let's see if we can get a little farther here in our second attempt. Is back to green flag racing here as 28 laps are now completed here on the evening, and about 52 more laps left to go here today. As the 72 with Jonathan Gaston, another great restart, but some tight racing. They're out at corner number 1, and boy, oh boy, there's some contact. Look out! We see a couple drivers making contact. Look out! There goes Brian Underwood. Underwood around. Applegate's in it. There's the 119 of Farnham. Oh, baby, they continue to just keep on piling in there. And Siegfried and the 6 of Brian Underwood making contact. This got tight out at corner number 1. We saw these two door to door, and it looked like there was something brewing as they were tight together right here. Oh, man, and then you see the 6 kind of bounces off the wall right there, still sticking it in deep down low, and then you see Dylan Carey poking his nose into it, but the 3 ride just gets in there too deep. Can't make that corner, washes up the racetrack, unfortunately washes over the nose of the 6. They continue to both push up the speedway, and then finally the 6 into the outside fence. He's trying to hang on to it. Here's Applegate trying to get checked up, and then the 6 and the 0-3 gonna make more contact there. Underwood finally gonna get sideways on the racetrack. He's starting to go around trying to get onto the brake pedal. The 3 gets in the back end of him. Look at Applegate. He's riding the brakes, trying to stay out of it. Unfortunately, gets a pretty good piece of it as the 0-3 gets in there, gets a big piece of it, and then here comes Austin Farnham Big hit there for him. Big hit for, I do believe, Jordan Kreider right there. And the 10 right as well. Another big hit there. It's, man, a lot of tore-up race cars here this evening. A lot of tore-up race cars, and we do see, I do believe it is one car, I do believe it's the 10 that ends up going upside down after the contact there with the number 23 as Corey Denson goes for a wild ride. Now, Corey sees this happening, sees this chaos unfolding out of corner number 2 and down the back straightaway. They're all trying to get around it. Look at the 119. He gets pretty much airborne right there with a 33 into the 0-3. The 10 right comes in here, ends up clipping him, and it just shoots this race car upside down onto its lid. Oh, man, that is never a fun ride, and then goes into a barrel roll. Heavy contact, heavy damage there for Corey Denson, and that is going to really shake things up here, as there's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to be not happy about that one. Obviously, a lot of drivers that are going to want to try to get just get this race rolling, get themselves through it, and unfortunately, it's been tough sledding. We talked about how cautions breed cautions, and it seems like when we get these restarts, it tends to take a few attempts before we can kind of get things kind of under control again here at Indy. And unfortunately, man, look at this hit right here. Big hit for Jordan Kreider there as well. But look at the Tier 1 setup shop ride going upside down. Then he's going to go for this big barrel roll here out of corner number 2. This is incredible. I'm going to give him a 10 right there for that one. That was absolutely insane. That was a lot of fun watching it, but I don't think it was a lot of fun being behind that steering wheel. Let's see if we can play it back. Jump on board here with the helmet cam of this 10 ride as Corey Denson goes for a wild ride here. And it's actually after watching his teammate. He's trying to get checked up. You can see the RPMs drop, and he's trying to get out of it. He was running under 2,000 RPM right there. Was not moving very quick, but nonetheless, it's enough to get this car up and over on the racetrack. Let's see if we can take a look at his teammate, Austin Farnham. It's Farnham trying to keep himself out of it. He's trying to keep himself rolling. Unfortunately for the 119, he ends up getting into this as well. This is a big hit for the other JBR car, and you do actually see the 115 getting some solid damage into that as well. Kyle Shepard ends up getting some pretty good contact into that. Man, these cars just getting absolutely destroyed here this evening. Running on board with Austin Farnham to keep himself out of it. Sees a little smoke, finally sees these cars turned around. He tries to get checked up, tries to get down low underneath of it. Unfortunately, could not get down low quick enough, and ends up with some heavy damage again there for that car. And we do see, I do believe, Corey Denson still parked down pit road. We now see Joshua Siegfried down pit side. Matthew Skurlak already down and out of this race. Ryan Leonard off the speedway. Kyle Shepard down pit side. And Austin Farnham also down pit road. So early in this race, we see 1, 2, I do believe 3 and 4 JBR cars down pit side with some pretty serious contact, pretty serious damage here this evening. Not the runs that they were hoping for. We already saw issues as well for the JBR number 67 of Scott Heinrich's. Heinrich's in the 95 ride of Matthew Skurlak got tied together. He got turned around down in corner number 3 to bring out, I do believe, our second or third caution flag. So a lot of these JBR machines have been running into some serious issues, and definitely not their day today, as Austin Farnham does get rolling back out onto the racetrack here. Looks like he will stay on the lead lap, so that's a great break for him. Great break for the 0-3 ride as well. Actually, I do believe Siegfried didn't go a lap down there, so he did go at least a lap down in that 0-3, so he'll have to hope for another caution flag and potentially getting another wave around or lucky dog to get himself back in the action. Kyle Shepard, unfortunately, is still down pit road. He is now, I do believe, a lap down here as well. So that is a tough break there for the 115 ride. As him, Corey Denson, and Reed Leonard all multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. Austin Farnham still in this battle. He's trying to catch up to the tail end of this lead pack, getting ready to go back. The green flag racing is Jonathan Gaston has the race lead. Noah Blackwell in position number 2 with Dylan Carrier, Danny White, Jordan Hand, Josh Kreider, all right there, ready to pounce, ready to try to jump up and take this race lead away as Albert Anderson says, hashtag like and subscribe. He says, Albert, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Albert Anderson coming in, showing the big love here this evening with the like and the subscribe. Oh, man, you were already liked. Well, you like the stream potentially, but I know you already subscribed, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love here this evening. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing once again. Let's see how long we can make it. Let's see how many laps we can get under our belt, as it's been a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, and for a lot of these drivers, they're just trying to survive the chaos and the mayhem and hoping that they can keep themselves out of some of the action here early in this race. As Jonathan Gaston, he may have the best plan out of anybody. Just keep this car out in front, keep hitting these restarts, and hope to see the chaos unfold back behind you, where you're good on fuel, you're good on potentially tires, and you can maybe just try to work your way into victory lane here and try to pick up maybe the second stage win of the day and set yourself up for a solid finish later on, as well, as it looks like that the track position may play the biggest key role in this race, just keeping yourself in front of some of this absolute chaotic racing back here deeper in the field. As you do see Jordan Hand trying to make some moves here, he's looking to try to get around Danny White. Kreider right there in the thick of it here is out in front. The G-Man Jonathan Gaston continues to lead this race, as we do see Nathan Brookover heading down pit side here. This is a green flag pit stop for the 27, as looks like he ended up with a black flag, having to make a pass-through penalty now for that 27 ride, so that's a heartbreaker there for him. For Joshua Siegfried is a lap down. He desperately wants to see a caution flag to potentially get himself back onto the lead lap here this evening. As of right now, he's the first car one lap down out there on the racetrack. Kyle Shepard, I do believe, is 2 laps down, but is back out onto the racetrack, so good to see that JBR car able to keep on racing here this evening. Does still have quite a bit of front end damage though on that machine, and he'll have to hope for more caution flags and more opportunities himself to get some more time down pit road to work on that race car. As Corey Denson has taken his car down behind pit wall, so has Matthew Skurlak. We do see the 68 of Reed Leonard still down pit road here. Obviously, the crew knows that that car is absolutely tore up, and for Nathan Brookover, he still sits down on pit lane here this evening. So we did get a black flag, but it looks like the black flag may keep him down pit road here for an extended period of time, as he is now went a lap down. Now he is still the car on the lucky dog right now. Even though he is a lap down, he's still in the lucky dog position. He just needs to get that thing rolling here once again and keep that thing moving here, but unfortunately still stuck down pit road. Is out in front, Jonathan Gaston with the race lead, trying to hang on to it, as here comes Noah Blackwell down to his inside. Blackwell looking to try to take the race lead back away from the G-Man, but here comes a big run from Dylan Carrier. Does Carrier take it down to the inside of his teammate, or does he continue to push that 18 run of Noah Blackwell out in front? And it looks like that's exactly what he will do. He will push Noah Blackwell to the point here this evening. So Blackwell now out in front, leading this race, as you do see him a little 3 wide right there. I do believe we did see Melvin Brandgruer get up and into the outside fence there on corner exit, and now all of a sudden you start to see these guys stacking up again. Look out, this could be treacherous. This could be another caution flag brewing. Is there 2, 3 wide? Everyone trying to find their way through it, as everyone battling here for about that 6th position. Looks like Applegate down low is going to take it, as the 7 rider Caden Gargiulo just trying to hang on to this machine. He's trying to keep that Team Watson Racing Setups ride pointed in the right direction, as he does see Applegate, Kreider, now the 6 rider Brian Underwood trying to get around him here. Here comes Brandgruer, the 2 rider Landon Burbage right there as well, as Cody Blackmore and a lot of these other drivers. See Ben Gleason, Farrell Robbins right there. The 87 of Chris Gets It is stacked up here, and it is absolutely on like Donkey Kong is out in front. Blackwell continues to lead this race. The 88 ride of Dylan Carrier right there behind him. And now you see these drivers kind of snaking down the back straightaways and even the front straightaway here at Indianapolis. Now what that's trying to do is trying to move some air around, trying to keep the clean air kind of deal off the nose of the car behind you, trying to dump some dirty air onto them and moving back and forth on the straightaways, just trying to break that draft and trying to break it so that they can't reel you in out there on the speedways. Blackwell with a great run down out of corner number 4 as we do see Danny White move up into second here. So White up into position number 2, but Jordan Hand trying to take that second spot quickly away from him as Jordan up around the outside, looking to make the power move, looking to try to jump up and take position number 2 here from Danny White. Now as they start to battle, we get into that same scenario where Noah Blackwell starting to stretch out that race lead, starting to build a bit of a gap between himself and the cars behind him. So if you're out in front, if you're leading this race and they start to battle door to door back behind you, man, it could really allow you to open up a sizable lead in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. That could be very vital information for drivers later in this race. Now you do see the 72, Jonathan Gaston. He's trying to work his way back around the 24 ride of Jordan Hand. Hand now trying to hang on to this thing is Noah Blackwell out in front, leading the way, but here comes a big move. Kreider down to the inside of Dylan Carrier there, 3 wide down across the line. Here at the Brickyard is Kreider looking to try to move up a couple more spots here on the racetrack. You do see Dylan Carrier says, you know what, I'm just going to back into this one a little bit. Doesn't want to put himself into a position where he can get this car tore up and potentially end up down behind pit wall himself, as he's just going to let them go by. He's got the wins, he's got everything else. He can play a little bit of a gamble here, give up stage points. He knows he's not winning this stage, so Mike better kind of just sit back and allow these guys to, self-detonate out there on the racetrack and just keep his car out of the chaos here this evening. But I do believe we only got about 2 more laps left to go here in this stage. Is nice and easy down and out of corner number 4, back down across the line with a 1.6 lead advantage. It's Noah Blackwell who will see lap 39 get clicked off the board here, so that means we start our 40th lap of this race. And out in front, Noah Blackwell has a sizable lead, looking to try to win stage number 2 here this evening. Danny White back there behind. We talked to Danny after winning stage number 1 and about how he was looking to get good stage points or maybe even another stage win. Looks like he's opened up a good enough advantage between himself and the cars back behind him as Underwood finds his way up and into third here as they're 3 wide again down in behind him. It's Gaston up on the high side. Kreider down on the inside. They're going to get a little bit of rubbing and scrubbing right there. Carrier's going to poke his nose right back into the battle here is Dylan Carrier. Looking to make some big moves here. Maybe trying to steal a couple stage points away from the cars here in front of them. As the 72 gets a great run as Noah Blackwell down across the line will win stage number 2. Danny White in second. Brian Underwood in third. Jonathan Gaston, Dylan Carrier, Jordan Hand, Josh Kreider, Grant Applegate, Landon Burbage, and Melvin Brenker are top 10 there in stage number 2. So got off to a little bit of a rocky start. A few caution flags to start our second stage. That closing 10 laps or so of that stage, 8 laps, 7 laps, whatever it was. Man, they put on an absolutely amazing race right there, man. That was a lot of fun. These guys put on a heck of a show out there on the speedway. Battling, slicing and dicing, 2 wide, 3 wide back there. Everyone just trying to navigate their way through it, trying to put themselves into a position to earn some solid stage points out there on the speedway. And for Noah Blackwell, he's able to win stage number 2 here this evening. So we'll have to take a look and see if we can get him up here into the booth as well for his stage win. Is Blackwell, man. Great run, great racing right there. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth, as I do believe he should be in here. There he is. All right, let's see if we can get him up here into the booth chat. Hey, Noah, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Noah, man, great run, great racing right there as you park that beautiful NJB Designs 18 ride up here into a stage win, man. Obviously celebrating 4 years of, being in business and making these amazing paint schemes. You put a beautiful one on here this evening, and it puts you up here into a tight fight at the front of the field right from the drop of the green flag, and now winning the second stage, earning that extra playoff point and some solid stage points here on the evening. How you feeling, obviously, about how this race has gone so far and how it may finish off here for you tonight?
So far, the car feels really strong with the air. I'm able to navigate it pretty well. Get the runoff that I need. But if people keep on blocking, it'll be a little difficult, but that's just part of the track and the way you have to race it. I got pretty fortunate there with what happened to Dylan. Unfortunate for Dylan. He was really mad, but it worked out for me. So, yeah, everything's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is great, especially when you're at the front. You're working yourself and just keeping yourself in some of that clean air or battling versus some really strong cars out there on the racetrack. But, what's the vibe back there deeper in the pack? Obviously, a lot of caution flags, a lot of chaos here early throughout this race, and some hard racing early on. Are people getting along? What's the vibe out there on the racetrack right now between some of those drivers deeper in the field?
1 second, I gotta get my pit stall. Okay. Some hard racing. Seems like taking outside while you're the leader is probably the bet to go, because the two cars behind you are gonna be battling. You'll just be able to build a natural gap. And obviously, if you can break that draft, I was able to pull away with no problem. So it'll just be all about that. And yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can get it done.
Absolutely. Trying to break that draft, trying to get yourself just out in front to that clean air, and hoping that you can get some good green flag laps in there for a little while to trying to build that advantage and maybe see this race go clean and green for the second half of tonight. But, man, how do you guys stay focused? Obviously, a lot of these caution flags, and this racetrack is a killer for cautions. We were looking at it earlier, man. It's probably one of the slowest tracks under yellow flag, man. It seems about 2 seconds to get around this racetrack under yellow. So it chews up a ton of time. How do you guys stay focused? How do you guys keep yourselves, in the game here, knowing that, it's just chewing up so much time? How do you stay focused? How do you keep yourself, into the race out there on the racetrack?
Well, it's kind of easy because most of our restarts, they all go the same with how we take ourselves. We place ourselves on the track going into one. So that gets rid of some of the butterflies with that. At least up front. I don't know how it happens back there, but I imagine it's a lot worse. But it's just me and Dylan. We get in the zone and we're gonna try and get it done. But I mean, if we can both draft our way up to the front, we'll be fine. It's all about that draft with this car. So
absolutely, brother. Well, a heck of a run, heck of a drive there, and stage number 2. Hopefully, a little bit of what we may see here in the final stage this evening.
Hopefully, a bit of luck.
Exactly, maybe a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill out there on the racetrack, and seeing that 18 ride potentially up here in victory lane at the Brickyard. Noah, congrats on the second stage win here this evening, brother. Hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the booth in about 37 laps.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our Stage 2 winner as Noah Blackwell picking up stage win number 2 here this evening. And there we go. He will elect to use the outside lane here on the restart now. Unfortunately, his teammate Dylan Carrier deeper in the field now, stuck back in about that 13th position. Carrier is going to have to try to work himself a little regain here. He's going to have to try to work himself back up through the field, trying to navigate his way through some traffic and see if he can get back up to the front and back into, working with his teammate Noah Blackwell to try to find themselves up and in victory lane. As Blackwell up at the front of the field, obviously back in his head here, trying to think about what his game plan is, what he's got to do, trying to keep himself focused, making sure that he's in the right gear, that he's in the right mindset, getting ready for this restart. And all these drivers that are deeper in the pack, they're all thinking the exact same thing. How do we play this? How do we keep ourselves out of the carnage, out of the trouble, and keep yourselves in the action here? As we did see Joshua Siegfried, he was able to get a lucky dog there, get back onto the lead lap. So right now we have 18 drivers on the lead lap. Nathan Brookover, he is at least a lap down right now after getting the wave around. So Brookover only 1 lap down now out there on the speedway. Austin Farnham, he is still scored as a, I do believe he's only 1 lap down now as well. So a couple of drivers getting some good breaks out there. Is unfortunately Kyle Shepard. He's down pit road. He's still trying to get more repairs done to this 115. For Shepard, he is, I do believe, about 3 laps down out there on the racetrack. And then we saw Corey Denson, Matthew Skurlak, and Reed Leonard all down and out of this race here this evening. So we had a lot more down pit road not too long ago, but it looks like we got 21 drivers still rolling here after about 44 laps of racing action. As here we go, back to green flag here at Indy is the 18 ride. Noah Blackwell, great restart, able to get the jump, able to get the launch, able to grow a bit of a lead here between himself and that 6 rider, Brian Underwood. Underwood has looked very strong here this evening as well. We did see that 6 ride up at the front, got tied up in one of those caution flags, went to the back of the pack, had to get this car repaired, and now he's been working his way back up through the traffic and now works to the back bumper of our race leader as Noah Blackwell trying to keep him back there at bay. It's nice and easy down through 3. And now to corner number 4, the 18 ride still has this race lead. The NJB Designs M&M's ride out there on the speedway, leading another lap here at the Brickyard, hoping to try to put himself up and into victory lane in what is such a historic racetrack. Indy, man, has been around for a long time with the IndyCar, the F1 series, any series that comes here, man, always put on amazing shows and so much rich history here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, even when it comes to iRacing and doing it virtually when you come in here as a league or even just as a driver in a part of a hosted race or anything else, winning here above your drivers, your competitors out there on the racetrack, finding victory lane here at Indy, man. It is a special one. Daytona, all of those crown jewels in real life racing are the same crown jewels that we look forward to each and every season here in these leagues. And right now Noah Blackwell leading the way, looking very, very strong out there on the racetrack, trying to put himself into victory lane, wanting to drink the milk or kiss the brakes or a little bit of both out there on the racetrack, as those are the somewhat of the, oh man, look out, oh man, we saw a couple drivers right there bounce it off the corner 2 wall. We see Brian Underwood going to be the first driver. He gets into the fence, and we're going to see the 72 get in there even farther. The 57 gets up and gets a piece of it as well. So we see second place driver Underwood. We see the 72 of Gaston and Applegate all drive up, get a piece of that outside fence, and unfortunately some pretty solid contact for all 3 of them, but they're all able to keep on battling. None of them lost a position with that contact, which is somehow very, very surprising me. I don't know how they were able to keep their cars rolling, not end up losing all that speed and momentum, and at least falling back a spot or 2 after on the racetrack. And that's where we see that no caution flag, no anything else. Everyone able to just keep on racing, no debris on the racetrack, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing as we get to keep on racing hard here this evening. As Noah Blackwell out in front, Brian Underwood there still in second, Jordan Hand up into third here. Hand's been coming on strong here in the second half of this race as that up to gaming 24 ride. Really starting to make some moves here, seeing if he can put himself up and into victory lane, as we do see the 72 ride. That is Jonathan Gaston back there in 4th, Grant Applegate rolling there in 5th. Then we see Joshua Grinder back in position number 6. Landon Burbage there in 7th. Landon trying to work his way back up towards the front as Danny White and Dylan Carrier round out our top 9. Good to see Carrier back up inside the top 10 there in that beautiful DJC Cinematography ride. And then behind him, rounding out our top 10, the 19 machine of Melvin Brangruer. Caden Gargiulo there in 11th with Ben Gleason, Cody Blackmore, Joshua Siegfried there in position number 14. Then we see Scott Heinrich's Farrell Robbins, Chris Getz, Jordan Kreider back there in that beautiful premium stock car racing league number 33 machine. Scored back in the 18th position. Nathan Brook over there in 19th. Austin Farnham in position number 20. Out there on the racetrack, Kyle Shepard scored back in 21st. And unfortunately down and off the racetrack is Corey Denson, Matthew Skurlak, and Reed Leonard. Out there on the speedway is out in front. It is still the 18 of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell trying to break the draft. Hope that he could try to pull far enough ahead that he could keep himself out of all the trouble. But look out, back behind him, we see one driver slideways at a corner number 4, and it's Scott Heinrichs. Heinrich is running into problems. Looks like he will tow that car back down pit road. Luckily enough, no caution flag. We keep it clean and green, but looks like down and out at corner number 4 here for the 67. Gets tight, washes up the racetrack right here, bounces it. Hard contact off the outside fence. And unfortunately, as he bounces off the wall, he's trying to catch it, trying to keep that car pointing the right direction. It just shoots back down the racetrack and heads towards the inside fence. Now he's got to spin it around, spins it sideways. Here comes to virtually a stop after making more contact with the inside fence. And as he comes to a stop there, basically on pit road after hitting the commitment cones virtually there, he tows that car down pit road, and it looks like that may take him down pit side here for quite a little while, as he is, I do believe, now going to be at least a lap down here, but probably going to lose a few laps out there on the racetrack. Hopefully he can get back out and back into the battle here this evening, but we'll have to wait and see if he rejoins. It's been a very tough night here for the JBR team, man. They have had probably some of the worst luck here this season, and no, not the season, but this race, honestly, because we saw Austin Farnham obviously started very strong here this evening. He has gotten tore up and tied up in a bunch of these wrecks, has had no luck here this evening. He sits back in 19th. I do believe a lap down out there on the racetrack. You look at Scott Heinrich is now down pit side. Looks like he's going to be down pit road for an extended period of time, maybe even for the rest of this race. Kyle Shepard still rolling out there on the racetrack. You see the race leaders right there behind him. Unfortunately for Shepard, he scored back in 20th, and I do believe he is about 2, 3, 4 laps down, something like that, and unfortunately scored back in that 21st spot. Corey Denson, their teammate, already down and off of the racetrack, and Ryan Leonard, their other JBR teammate, down pit road. So for the 5 JBR cars that were starting this race, unfortunately, all 5 of them right now are outside the top 18. They take up the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 24th position out there on the speedway. They are the bottom 6 of this race here this evening, man. That is a heartbreaker for them, as they are definitely looking for a strong run. Look very, very good out there on the racetrack, and unfortunately now for all of them, not the days that they were hoping for here this evening, not the way they wanted Indy to play out for their team, and unfortunately for each and every one of them, getting tied up in issues and having problems out there on the racetrack. As you do see Kyle Shepard just pull over and let our race leaders go on by. Does not want to ruin their day or get tied up in more issues or cause any drama here late in this race by, kind of being just there at the front of the pack and slowing them up or making the wrong move the wrong time and potentially collecting one of our lead lap drivers in an issue. So just smart move, kind of moving over, allowing those guys to get on by and just keep his battle going, seeing if he can learn anything, see if he can just kind of get lucky with some more caution flags, maybe have some more drivers drop into the race and gain a couple extra spots here before the end of this race. But as of right now, Noah Blackwell continues to lead this one. Blackwell out in front, as down across the line they will complete lap number 53 here this evening. So 53 laps are completed. I do believe that is what? 27 laps left to go in this race, chat. 27 laps left to go here this evening. So we're getting down to the end of it in a quick hurry. And for Noah Blackwell, he'll be looking to try to put himself up into victory lane. But as we continue to keep on rolling, we will get closer and closer here to potentially seeing some green flag pit stops in the next 10 laps or so. So we'll have to keep our eye open to see how that one gets played out and how these drivers are going to have to navigate green flag pit stops here today, as Blackwell well. Leads this race. You now see Jordan Hand up and into second. Grant Applegate right there in position number 4 and looking for more as he's trying to work his way around that 6th line of Brian Underwood. Looks like Underwood going to slide all the way back into that 4th position as Applegate moves up into 3rd. Danny White closing up on him here as well. Danny has looked very strong all night long, and that may be the car to beat here this evening. That 79 of Danny White, man, has looked very, very good here. And now getting some good green flag laps, and we'll see if he can have that long run speed as well and maybe make some moves, try to race his way back to the point after winning stage number 1. He's back there in that 5th position. It's now 54 laps completed, 26 more laps left to go here in this race. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we want you to do right now is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. As man, what a run, what a race, and what a show these drivers have been putting on for us. And we're going to crank it up here at the Brickyard with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a beautiful crank it up session here from the Brickyard. As these drivers give us a beautiful crank it up, we get to see what they're, what they sound like, what they're looking like out there on the racetrack during that crank it up. Really getting a good aspect and a good look at how these cars are sounded out there on this beautiful racetrack as drivers just getting done their section of green flag pit stops right there. So green flag pit stops have come and gone for these drivers in what could have been potentially their final stop of this race. Unless if we see a late race caution flag, potentially we may see some of these drivers back down pit side here this evening, making some late race calls, trying to put themselves up and into victory lane. But man, oh man, this one, it's getting down to the nitty gritty, and everyone's trying to find their way into victory lane, but they're all trying to hunt down the 18 right. I know a Blackwell, but looks like Blackwell is going to lose that top spot as Brian Underwood able to find his way around him here, and Underwood now has control of this race. So Brian Underwood out in front has his NJBDesigns.com number 6 ride here at the front of the field, our back-to-back champion here in the series, winning the championship back in season number 4 and winning the championship last season in season 5. But here in season 6, it's a whole new ball game, and he's looking to try to make it 3 championships in a row, as we just saw Dylan Carrier banking off the outside fence right there. Coming out of corner number 1, we've seen him do that a couple times here this evening for the 88 ride, though. Able to hang on to it. Doesn't look like any major damage, but may have gotten some wheel damage out of that or something under the hood, so we'll have to wait and see if he can find that extra little bit of speed, keep that car rolling there in third, maybe try to get back on top of the wheel and see if he can find this 88 ride back up into victory lane, as I know they're going to all be looking to make some big moves, looking to try to race their way up into that top spot as they're all hunting down now the number 6 of Brian Underwood. And once again, you start to see them trying to snake their way down these straightaways. Everyone moving around, everyone shuffling, trying to break some draft, trying to open up some ground between themselves and the car in front of him. Is now you do see Blackwell get a little loose there, a little squirrely down and out of quarter number 1 himself, tag the wall ever so slightly. Not much contact there, but enough that gonna slow him down a little bit, gonna give a little bit more of an advantage there to Brian Underwood, and that's exactly what Underwood wants to see. He wants to try to break away far enough that potentially it gives him a little bit of extra, just draft away from these guys, and if he can kind of break that draft, kind of pull out in front away from them, normally we can see the race leader run away with it. We saw it there at the end of stage number 2. The 18 ride had a big enough advantage between himself and our second place driver that he was able to open up that gap and run away with that second stage. So we'll have to wait and see. As out in front, Underwood looking very good here with only 13 laps left to go. Can he hang on to it? Can he put himself up and into victory lane as Dylan Carrier right there in tow? He's trying to work his way up into the top spot, or at least trying to help his teammate potentially in that 18 ride find his way into victory lane. But I know for the Carrier Motorsports group, the 18, the 88, they want to find victory lane again. Dylan got to such a hot start there. Did not have the run he was hoping for last Saturday night, but hoping to try to turn things around here this evening. Obviously earning some solid stage points. Didn't get any stage wins here today, but if he can pick up another win, it is another big night for bonus points for our playoffs in that 88 ride. Or if he can get his teammate in there and locked into the playoffs as well, could be a great break for the Carrier Motorsports team. But they're all chasing down Underwood, and that's one driver these guys do not want to see get locked into our playoffs. They do not want to see Underwood in there again. He has proven, obviously, last 2 years that he has what it takes to get the job done and to win those championships. And if he can lock his way in there, that means you got to try to knock him out. You got to try to beat him in another playoff series again with that 6th ride. And last 2 seasons, he's been unbeatable. So it's going to be one tough cookie to crack out there in the playoffs. And right now, he's looking very, very strong here at the front of the field. Hands kind of broken away from that draft, and unfortunately for the 18 ride, really just can't reel in that 6 machine, as now you do see Noah just trying to get to his back, bumper, trying to get that draft again, trying to get into him there, and hoping that his teammate, the 88, Dylan Carrier can help push him up there, can help push him into that battle. So we'll have to wait and see if that's something that happens, if that's something that kind of they can work together with, and as teammates try to use it to their advantage to hunt down this 6 ride. But man, it's looking like it's Brian Underwood's race to lose here. If Underwood can just keep this car out of trouble, if he can just keep this car pointed in the right direction and hopefully not putting himself into a bad spot out there onto the speedway, could be a big move for him here on the day. As here he comes. There's the run that they needed down the back straightaway. They close the gap and reel right in to the back bumper of that number 6 machine, as Underwood now under fire. He's going to have to try to find a way to put himself into victory lane here with about 10 laps left to go. 10 laps this time by the start-finish line. And man, oh man, this is gonna be wild. Who can get it done? Do we see Blackwell find his way into victory lane? Do we see potentially Dylan Carrier finding another victory here on the season? It is going to be a wild finish here from Indy, ladies and gentlemen, as this is going to be an absolutely amazing show. As nice and easy down the back straightaway, you see the 18 right take that run down to the inside, as it is the 18 looking to try to find his way back out in front. Alrighty, as the 18 rider Blackwell does make that move, and it's Blackwell who now has the race lead. So Noah out in front. Now it's time for his teammate to try to get around that 6 ride as well. So the 6 still trying to battle back here. His teammates down low working together. They're just trying to bully their way around this 6 ride, hoping that they can use it to their advantage to win this race. But man, oh man, oh man, Underwood is not backing down. And as they continue to battle here, as they continue to run door to door, as they continue to battle door to door here in this one, is slowing them down. They're running a lot slower lap time series. Now there's contact back behind them. Danny White gets turned around. We were just about to bring up how Danny White, the 57 of Applegate, the 24 of Jordan Hand, we're starting to reel these guys in. We see contact between Grant Applegate and Danny White. Danny goes down and off the racetrack here. There's no caution flag as he was virtually turned around or stopped on the speedway down on the infield grass, and iRacing does not count that as the racing surface, so they don't throw the yellow flag for that 79, and that is a heartbreaker there for Danny White, having such a good run, having a great first stage, winning that stage, coming home second in stage number 2, earning himself some pretty solid stage points on the day. But this one may take him out of this race for the rest of the night, man. That was a big hit, a heavy hit. See the damage instantly on that car as he bounces it off that inside fence, and keeps on rolling though, keeps on battling, keeps on keeping on. Unfortunately, does have to take that car down pit sign, and I do believe he is still down pit road trying to get that thing repaired. Now scored back at about the 18th position. Heartbreaker there for Danny after such a great run here this evening, but out in front, we do see Noah Blackwell take over the race lead once again and able to clear and keep that 6 ride back there at bay. His teammate Dylan Carrier able to go with him as Dylan sits in position number 2. Underwood there in third, as Underwood trying to find his way up and around these guys, hoping that he can find that gap, hoping that he can find that extra little bit of speed. As we'll take a quick look in here at all of these drivers, as they're all hoping to try to find their way into victory lane. Some of them hoping for potential caution flags to really try to get them all kind of bunched back together again, hoping that it could really work to their favor. Hopefully it can work themselves into a bit of a different picture here with a caution flag out there on the speedways. You get a good look here at all of our amazing drivers here with their webcams turned on. We see Austin Farnham, Dylan Carrier in there, Jonathan Gaston, Joshua Kreider, Landon Burbage, Melvin Brenger, all with their webcams turned on for us here this evening. And I do believe they have on their Premium Stock Car Racing League YouTube channel these webcams live there, so everyone can watch and enjoy a live stream of the driver cams as well. If you guys want to pop that up or take a look at that, make sure you guys go check that out. I'm not sure what it is. Hopefully we can find the link for that and we can get you guys a link to be able to continuously watch these drivers and watch their reactions and what they're dealing with out there on the speedway lap after lap after lap. Oh, now with only 6 laps left to go, you do see that the 57 ride is on the move. We talked about how Applegate was moving forward here. He came down pit road 2 laps later than the cars in front of him here, so he's got a couple lap better tire, meaning that he may have that slight advantage out there on the speedway. He's been running a lot faster lap times. He's been almost a second faster the last couple laps than Noah Blackwell and Brian Underwood, and he continues to hunt down these drivers here at the front of the field. As now we do see Dylan Carrier back down pit road here. So a late race pit stop for the 88 ride as Dylan Carrier heads down pit road. Oh, heartbreaker here for the DJC Cinematography ride as he heads down pit side. Everyone else able to keep on battle, but now you see the 18 ride just trying to break the draft here, but here comes that 57 of Applegate coming on strong here late in this race, man. He has been finding that speed. He's got that gear, and he is looking to try to jump up here and disappear. As Matthew Wood says, come on, Grant, you got that. He definitely looks to have it, but man, Noah Blackwell's not going to give it up easily as they're door-to-door down through corner number 4 here at the Brickyard. Now you see the 6th ride of Underwood. He makes a hard left-hand turn. Oh, baby me, too fast entering there for the back-to-back champ as he has to make a late race pit stop. So potentially pitting too early here for some of these drivers, or we may end up seeing more drivers have to come down pit side. Maybe everyone still has to make an additional pit stop here this evening as Applegate came down pit road on lap 62. We saw Blackwell down pit road on lap 60. Gaston, Jordan Hand, Landon Burbage. All these drivers were down pit road making their green flag pit stops around lap 60, 61, and lap 62 was the latest we saw these drivers down pit road. And now we see the caution flag. Oh, baby, this is going to change the entire game. Caution flag does come out as it looks like Farrell Robbins getting done a pit stop. He just got done his green flag pit stop. Farrell Robbins rolling back into the racetrack here on cold tires, trying to get back up through the gears and everything else, and ends up onto the road course section of the speedway here and gets stopped out on the way infield here and tows the car down pit road. I'm not sure what's going on here with this one, or how iRacing calls this a caution flag. Nowhere close to the racing surface. He's on the backwards half of the road course here at Indy. Nowhere even close to the racing surface as he's damn near in the infield here in the parking lot, almost back onto the hauler. Gets stopped there, and unfortunately, iRacing calls that a caution flag. That is going to be a game changer here late in this race, as that really mixes things up here for drivers that just came down pit road, like Dylan Carrier, like Brian Underwood. If they had fresh tires back there, were able to make that pit stop, everyone else maybe want to come down pit road and put fresh tires on, but virtually no green flag laps for Dylan Carrier or Brian Underwood, and everyone else may want to come down pit road. We'll have to wait and see if fuel is going to be close for them, if they will have to come down pit side. This may not be our final caution flag, so we may see NASCAR overtime and multiple attempts at NASCAR overtime here in green-white checkers here this evening. So it may not be 80 laps here tonight. It may be 82. It may be 84 or 86 laps here until we see that checkered flag. So if you're tight on fuel and these restarts could keep coming up, we could see everyone come down pit road, and that's exactly what we do see. We do see Applegate, Noah Blackwell, Jonathan Gaston, all these drivers heading down pit side. Jordan Hand, Burbage, Caden Gargiulo, Kreider, Melvin Branguer, Ben Gleason, Jordan Kreider, Chris Getz down pit road. It looked like Cody Blackmore was a lap down. He was down pit side on lap 67, so he should have enough fuel to get to the end of this race. He is going to get the lucky dog back onto the lead lap, I do believe, for this 84 ride, or I do believe he is back on the lead lap. So that's a great break there for Cody Blackmore to get back into the action, but for Dylan Carrier, honestly stays out and just made that green flag pit stop. Will now be our race leader. Brian Underwood also had just came down pit road. He will restart in position number 2. So the 88 and the 6 ride Getting blessed there with that caution flag. That is really going to give them the advantage as they will now have the track position. And for Carrier, has the advantage of being the lead car for the restart. He's done a few of these restarts here today. He led some laps early in the race. He knows kind of what to do and how to get it done. And if he can time these restart perfectly, could give himself a big enough lead. And if they continue to battle back there for position number 2, this may really change the game here tonight, and this could go Dylan Carrier. But, man, there's so much that can happen here. These restarts have been wild, and another one late in this race is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see if we can get Dylan up here for a little pre-restart interview. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our race leader, Dylan Carrier, let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Dylan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, got you loud and clear.
Dylan, man, timely caution flag right there. I'm not sure if everyone else had to come down pit road again here tonight or not, but for yourself, having to make that late race pit stop, you come down pit road with 5 to go, and then a lap or 2 later, caution flag comes out, everyone comes down pit side, gives you this race lead. Now you have the advantage here with that track position, potentially that clean air, timing these restarts perfectly, man. What are you going to do? How are you going to have to hold these guys up for a 2-lap shootout to try to pick up another checkered flag here on the season?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get the restart perfect. My tires are a little older. I'm pretty sure Brian has fresh rubber because he was on pit road when the caution came out. So it's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna try at least get a top 3 if I can't get the win here. But yeah, we're just gonna rack them up, and I'm just gonna give it my best shot, and hopefully I can get a win number 4 in the season.
Absolutely. Now we saw you and Noah working well there together as well, trying to hunt down and battle there with that 6th ride of Brian Underwood. Do you think Noah tries to help you out here a little bit if he gets the shot to try to push you down these straightaways to give you that advantage on quarter entry or something late in this race? Do you think he goes with you, or does he take a run and tries to get around you to maybe try to steal a win away here from you, this early in the season?
Yeah, I'd like to get Noah a win. If he gets around me, I'll push him. I hope he pushes me, and I mean, if he dips out, if we're the only 2 cars and he dips out and passes me to the finish, I won't blame him. With me being locked in and whatnot, I'd like to get all my teammates a win. But we're getting ready to go back green here, so I gotta get locked in.
Absolutely, brother. Well, good luck. Have fun. Hopefully, we'll see you back up here in just a few more laps.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Dylan Carrier. Carrier, our race leader, getting ready to rock and roll here for what is going to be a crazy green-white checkered here this evening. So a green-white checkered, ladies and gentlemen, means that we will have 2 more laps of racing action as we will complete lap number 80 as we go back to green flag racing. So this is our first attempt at NASCAR overtime here this evening. It's nice and easy. Down ahead of corner number 4, pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. Here in this one is nice and easy for Dylan Carrier, choosing the outside lane. Been getting good restarts up there in that outside groove. Let's see if he can get another one. Times in nicely, gets a great jump there on the 6th ride of Underwood, but Grant Applegate times it perfectly himself. He looks down low, doesn't go with it. Stays to the back bumper of the 88. They go single file, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is their door-to-door for a split second as Jordan Hand and the number 2 Landon Burbage get single file back behind him. Hand washed up the racetrack, but here comes Applegate looking for a big run. Tags the outside fence, though. A little bit of contact into the outside wall kills the momentum for the 57. That is a huge benefactor there for Dylan Carrier. But here comes that 57 again, battling back, looking for another big run, trying to find his way around that 88 ride late in this race, trying to pick up the checkered flag here this evening. Looked like it was going to be his race to lose late in this race before that caution flag. He's looking to get it back as they swivel down the front straightaway and back down across the start finish line. A big block there from the 88 as he's trying to block all that speed, momentum, and run from that 57 as we do see the white flag fly. So the next flag will end it no matter what, as there's a little contact. Around goes Carrier. Carrier goes around off the bumper of the 57 of Applegate. Applegate takes the race lead as now Blackwell door to door with Brian Underwood. They're side by side down the back straightaway for position number 2. They're making contact. They're beating and banging. It's full fender racing here at Indianapolis. Indianapolis Motor Speedway as Applegate out in front has a massive lead advantage down through 3 and now down through corner number 4 here at the Brickyard. He's got a huge lead. Over a second is down and across the start finish line. It's gonna be the 57 of Grant Applegate who picks up the checkered flag. They're 3-4 wide back behind him as it's Jordan Hand and Brian Underwood who round out our top 3. Josh Kreider back in 4th. Blackwell there in 5th. And unfortunately for the 88 rider, Dylan Carrier will get a DNF, will not finish this race back in the 16th position. But Grant Applegate picks up the checkered flag. Let's take a look back, see what happened here between him and this 88 ride. Obviously, blocks being thrown. 88 ride trying to block the speed, the momentum runs that the 57 ride was getting. He sends it in deep into corner number 1 here, gets a good run through 1 as the 88 kind of watches up ever so slightly, but I do believe may have been a little contact here. May have been a little bit of help from the 57 ride. Maybe try to give him the bump and run down and out of corner number 1 here this evening. Let's take a look at it. The 88 getting a little sideways right there. There is a little contact. Not once, but twice. Getting into that back bumper, helping the 88 up the racetrack, and obviously Dylan trying to keep himself out of the fence, just turning that wheel hard to the left, trying to keep that thing out of trouble, trying to keep it pointing the right direction. See if we can get another look at this one, another angle at the contact. These two were driving aggressive, man. They were definitely battling hard here this evening. I think it's going to be tough to get a good angle at it. Let's see if we can get another shot with a rear chase camera maybe between these two. I think this is going to be a tough angle, chat. Not sure if we're going to be able to get a great angle at the contact, but we will try our darndest here this evening. All right, so this angle's probably not going to work too well for us. See if we can get something else here, because there's definitely contact between these two. Right there. There we go. Great angle at it right there. There's the first shot. Here's the second shot. 88 Ryan sideways trying to keep that car under control. Now trying to keep it out of the fence. Not wanting to get into the wall. Pulling the wheel hard to the left. Unfortunately, washes back down the racetrack and again across the nose of that 57 Ryan. And unfortunately for Dylan Carrier, it just spins him right down to the infield here. Unfortunately makes some pretty sizable contact with that inside fence. Let's see if we can play it back. Actually, I don't even know if he catches the fence or not, but there's that contact. Around he goes, and unfortunately, his chances of winning this race go out the window. Tough break there for the 88 ride. Man, definitely not the way he wanted to see that one finished. Even if he would have slid back to second, I'm sure he would have been happy with it. But, man, tough break there for the 88 ride as Dr. Relief says if he is in front of me next week, he will not finish the race. I will send him. Oh, gosh. That is brutal. Dylan Carrier. Oh, gosh. Yeah, Dylan Carrier out there on the racetrack. That's for certain. Great run there, nonetheless, for the 88 ride, man. That's a tough break right there as Matthew Wood says, oh, my God. He says, oh, my God. As absolutely what everyone was thinking there. The contact between Applegate and Dylan Carrier, but Applegate nonetheless picks up the checkered flag, parks the 57 ride up and into victory lane, and we are going to get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner here this evening, Brian Underwood. Or Grant Applegate, not Brian Underwood. Grant Applegate, our race winner here tonight. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Grant, man, what a run, what a race. Obviously, strategy playing out pretty nicely there for you late in this race. Obviously, we saw you there during that green flag run, pitting a couple laps later than a lot of these other drivers. And we saw that extra tire advantage coming into play here late in this race as you were able to catch up to our top 5, make some moves, get around them, jump up into the top 3, battling hard there with Dylan Carrier, battling hard with Brian Underwood and the 18 Noah Blackwell, and we're able to get through all of them. You take the race lead here with about 4, probably about 6, 7 laps left to go here in this race. Obviously, I'm not sure if you were good on fuel. I know, obviously, we saw Dylan come down pit row. We saw the 6 of Brian Underwood come down pit side here late in the race. Take us kind of through that. What was kind of going through your mind right there? Is obviously you take that race lead late in this run. You have the top spot, you have good tires, you're probably going to start to open up a bit of a lead between yourself and the rest of those guys, and they are really, really tight on fuel. How tight were you, and what was going through your mind there late in this race before that final caution flag?
Yeah, so I saved the gas on the first run because, I mean, we were just sitting there, everybody side drafting one another and everything else. So I was just like, I'm just going to back it off and save the gas now while I'm in the draft, and I can, basically. So that's why I pitted later. And yeah, I was good on gas. So it took forever. But once I got to the draft and they also had to start saving really hard, yeah, then I just drove past them easily. I got to the lead and I started, I wasn't perfect. I think I was like 0.3 short. But once I got to the lead, I was just you can clutch it in and save that pretty easily. So got to the lead and started driving away, like you said, because everybody else had to save so much gas, and just, yeah, caution comes out. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. So, yeah, was very frustrated at the caution. And before I say anything else, want to apologize to Danny White. I ran him down, and then as I was trying to pass him, just side drafting and screwed that up and spun him out. So that one I didn't mean to do. The bump at the end of the race, we'll get to that in a second. But the Danny White spinning him out, that was not intentional whatsoever. I was just trying to side draft and screwed it up.
Absolutely tough contact there. Obviously, having that extra speed, having that extra bit of gear, moving yourself up and through there, and looking to try to, hunt down our race leaders. You're trying to get through that traffic as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, you end up making contact there with Danny, and then obviously late in this race, green, white, checker. Dylan's got a couple laps on his tires. You got those fresh slicks on. You get a great jump behind him. You're able to stay right there on his back bumper, and then obviously you're trying to make some big moves. We saw you there on that first lap of our green, white, checkered at a corner 2. You end up into the fence yourself. You scrub off a little bit of speed. Luckily enough, the 6th ride of Brian Underwood goes with you down the back straightaway. Stays on your back bumper, kind of gives you that boost, gives you that run that you needed to stay right there with the 88 ride, and that puts you right back to his back bumper down through 3 and 4 down the front straightaway. You're trying to find your way around him, trying to use that speed and momentum to your advantage. He's trying to, break the draft and trying to throw some blocks there, making sure that you don't get by him on the front straightaway. And then down into corner number 1. Looks like he gets a little bit loose, car's a little bit sideways. You get a great run there coming out of corner number 1. Obviously make a couple piece of contact with him. Looked like almost a perfectly executed bump and run. Obviously, Dylan washes up the racetrack, trying to keep himself out of the fence, cuts back down across your nose there. You spin out the 88 Ryan, but you keep on going. You keep your car pointed in the right direction, which could have ended very badly for you there. Obviously, sometimes some of the contact here in these cars, especially over the nose, could have drove you down with the 88 Ryan. Luckily enough, you're able to keep that wheel pointed in the right direction, and you drive it on home to pick up a big checkered flag here at the Brickyard. Man, take us through that green, white, checkered. What's going through your mind right now is you have to celebrate here this evening at the Brickyard.
Yeah, it's pretty much like you said. I want to again shout out Brian for giving me a push. I believe he was on older tires, like him and Dylan were on the same tires. So his plan, I assume, was to get me up there, me and Dylan race, maybe wreck each other, which almost happened, and then him finish 3rd and win the race. And that plan almost worked, but yeah, just fresh tires. I rolled the center of 1 real good and got to his back bumper, and I did what I felt was like you said, perfectly executed bump and run. He didn't get in the wall. He can claim he got in the wall all he wants. He did not get in the wall. I did not push him into the wall. I gave him 2 little bumps, turned left under him because like I have fresher tires, and then I held my wheel straight because I know Dylan and he was going to be angry and try to chop back in front of me, and I just held the wheel as straight as possible. He spins himself out, and again, he can blame me all he wants, but I mean, he blocks me to the inside wall, so I was like, okay, if I get inside of you, I'm not lifting. I mean, you're going to throw that kind of block, then I'm not going to just let you do that to me. You're not going to try to wreck me into the inside wall and then get mad when I get inside of you and you wreck yourself. So I don't know. Like I thought it was perfectly executed bump and run. You know, again, I don't really know what else to say about that. I gave him 2 little bumps. He had to check up because I bumped him and I got inside of him and then he turned left.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation there for you, but nonetheless, you're still able to cross the line here, taste that milk and kiss the bricks here this evening as you park it into victory lane here at the Brickyard. Grant, obviously a very, very fast hot rod here late in the race, finding that perfect strategy and the perfect positioning to put yourself into position to be able to, you know, make that move and then get yourself into the top spot and win this race here this evening, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I just want to thank my teammates. We get to talk strategy all race and figure stuff out. And I knew the fuel situation, I knew I was a little better than everybody else because I knew what their fuel was and my fuel was better than that. So appreciate them for their help throughout the race and appreciate the guys who put on the show. And, you know, just we can't have a league if nobody puts it on. So I know we get frustrated with one another every now and then, but I appreciate them for giving us somewhere to race. And hopefully I can go win another race tomorrow night because it feels like it's been forever since I won a race. And after having the strategy, driving all the way to first, I was like, I'm not losing this one that way. So I just did what I did at the end, and I felt like it was as clean as a bump and run can be.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Grant, heck of a run, heck of a drive here for you, brother. Glad to see you back up here in the winner's circle here this evening in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Hopefully, we'll get you back up here a few more times throughout the rest of the season. We are off next Saturday, I do believe, so we'll see you back here in 2 weeks and potentially right back up here in the top spot. Grant, congrats on the win here this evening, brother, and hopefully enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Grant Applegate. Obviously, Applegate has his opinions. I'm sure Dylan and a lot of other drivers will have opinions on how that race and the contact was played out. I mean, the bump and run, is it good? Yes. Was it not dirty? Potentially. Was it the time and place to do it? I don't know, man. I don't normally see bump and runs. You don't normally see bump and runs on 2-mile-long racetracks in a corner that you're doing 160 miles an hour. Normally, you tend not to see drivers do bump and runs like that, but it's still a possibility. It's still definitely something that you can do, and it's a legal move, man. It's full fender racing, and unfortunately for Dylan, got the wrong end of the deal on this one, but for Grant Applegate, he's able to pull the trigger, and yeah, it works out perfectly for him. Could have easily taken himself out of the race, making that move. He knew that the 88 was going to cut back down the racetrack across his nose there, trying to either bounce out off the fence or trying to keep himself out of the fence, was going to come back down the racetrack, and unfortunately for Dylan, that's exactly how it played out and washed down across his nose, and that definitely killed the 88 here this evening, and it allows Grant to jump out and pick up the win here this evening as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the number 24, Jordan Hand. Jordan comes home in position.